Welcome to this very special listening experience. You're not just going to hear an exciting story. This is something much more. This is a journey through mystery, adventure, and hidden worlds, but at the same time, it's a unique opportunity to improve your English. You don't need to be an expert. Even if you only know a few words, you'll find yourself understanding more and more as the story unfolds. Why? Because this tale is written in a way that helps you learn naturally just by listening. You might hear new vocabulary, you might recognize phrases from movies or books, and maybe hope you'll be so drawn into the story of Abu Fanous that you'll forget you're even learning. So, pour yourself a cup of tea, get comfortable, or close your eyes if you'd like. Take a deep breath, and get ready for an adventure that will light up your imagination and your language skills. Are you ready? Then let us begin. Night had just fallen over the dusty streets of the ancient desert town of Alu Najma. The sky gleamed with a million stars, each one shimmering like a secret waiting to be discovered. In a modest house at the town's edge lived an old storyteller named Abu Fanous. His name meant Father of the Lantern, and he carried a small, ornate brass lantern everywhere he went. Its light was warm and steady, and it was said to ward off not only the darkness but also evil spirits. Abu Fanous was known far and wide for his stories. They were not mere tales, but journeys into worlds of magic, mystery, and danger. Tonight, however, he felt that something extraordinary was about to unfold. As he lit his lantern, he gazed about his dimly lit courtyard and murmured, "Tonight, tonight the story finds me." At that moment, a knock at the door startled him. Abu Fanous hurried to open it, his lantern held aloft. Standing there was a young woman named Layla, her eyes wide with fear. "Master Fanous," she whispered, "I need your help." Abu Fanous stepped aside, gesturing for her to enter. "Come in, child. What troubles you?" Layla took a trembling breath. "It's my brother, Samir. He went into the Wadi of Whispers to fetch water, but he never came back. The villagers say someone saw a ghostly figure leading him toward the old ruin. I'm so worried." Abu Fanous set down his lantern on a low table and said, "The Wadi of Whispers. Yes, I know that place. It's where voices echo unnaturally, and many fear to go after sunset. But I will help. I will find him." Layla fell to her knees, her gratitude shining. "Please, master, you must hurry." Without hesitation, Abu Fanous strapped his satchel across his shoulder, lifted the lantern, and followed Layla into the night. The moon was a silver sliver in the sky, and sand crunched under their footsteps. Into the Wadi. The Wadi of Whispers lay just beyond Tona deep ravine carved by ancient floods, now a narrow path winding between steep walls of rock. As they entered, the hush around them felt unnatural. Abu Fanous paused. "Listen," he said. "Do you hear?" Layla strained her ears. Eyes, faint voices, as if carried on the wind. Abu Fanous nodded gravely. "Stay close. Keep the lantern high." They walked on, each step echoing back ominously. Suddenly a whisper. "Samir," it carried clearly. Layla gasped. Abu Fanous raised a hand. "It's the Wadi designed to torment us. But we press on." They reached the ruined walls of an old caravanserai, half-valve and fallen arches consumed by sand and rock. A cold breeze swept through. Abu Fanous's lantern wavered but stayed alight. "Brother," Layla called. "Samir." No answer, only whispers. Abu Fanous searched the rubble with a steady hand, his lantern light dancing across crumbling stones. Then he heard a muffled cry. He followed it to a small alcove hidden behind debris. There, pressed tight against the wall, was Samir, bruised but alive. "Layla," he choked. "You came." She sobbed. "Brother, are you hurt?" I twisted my ankle, and the voices, they drove me deeper here." Abu Fanous knelt beside him. You're safe now. I'll carry you out. But just then, the whispers turned mocking. You cannot leave. Not alive. The lantern flickered. A shadow moved. Abu Fanous felt a chill. Suddenly, a figure stepped into the lantern's glow. Tall, draped in dark robes, face hidden. Its voice a whisper amplified by the echoing canyon spoke. You dare rescue him? Abu Fanous stood between Layla and Samir. Who are you? He demanded. Show yourself. The figure's robes billowed, though there was no wind. I guard this wadi. I am the Whisper Keeper, and you trespass. Layla trembled. Abu Fanous steadied himself. We're only retrieving an injured child. It is not your child, the Whisper Keeper hissed. He entered willingly. The wadi demands payment. What price? Abu Fanous asked, voice firm. The Whisper Keeper paused, then whispered, a story. Tell me a story I have never heard. If it pleases me, I will let him go. Abu Fanous exchanged glances with Layla and Samir. A story? Very well. But I don't improvise on demand. I have a tale prepared, long and true, of magic and lessons. The Whisper Keeper laughed softly. Start. Abu Fanous inhaled, recalling a tale from long ago, a story of a caravan, a miracle in the desert, and a soul's redemption. He began with the caravan of the moonlit oasis. Long ago, before Alu Najma existed, a caravan crossed the endless dunes carrying silk and spices to distant lands. At its heart was a wise merchant named Hakim, who possessed a flask said to contain water from the legendary moonlit oasis waters that healed the sick and purified the soul. Under the scorching sun, the caravan set up camp at nightfall. A traveler, ill and frail, collapsed at the camp's edge. Hakim knelt beside him. Take, he told the traveler, offering water from the flask. Almost at once, color returned to the traveler's cheeks. The caravan folk gasped. But the next morning, the flask was empty. The water that healed had vanished. Hakim was distraught, understood that the miracle flask was tied to the traveler's faith and compassion, not merely the water alone. As dawn broke, a sandstorm swept across the dunes. The caravan was split. Hakim searched and found himself alone in a vast dune sea. At dusk, he reached a cliff over a hidden valley. There, beneath the full moon, lay the oasis water glowing silver under moonlight. In the hush, the voice of the desert spoke. Your gift saved a soul. Mercy costs nothing and is always rewarded. Hakim filled his flask again, under the moon's glow. He returned to his caravan miraculously. They had escaped the storm. He shared water freely now, telling them, we carry more than goods. We carry mercy. And the miracle flask never emptied again, so long as every drop was offered with genuine compassion. As Abu Fanous finished, dawn's first pale light crept into the ruin. The Whisper Keeper stood silent, robes still, lantern-lit face hidden. Then she whispered, softer than before, a pure heart, a true story. You have passed. Leave with them. Abu Fanous helped Samir to stand. The Whisper Keeper receded into shadow. The haunting voices ceased. The wadi was still once more. They emerged into the early morning haze. Layla scooped up Samir, weeping. Abu Fanous watched the sunrise, lantern in hand, smiling softly. That was incredible, Layla breathed. My story was not only words, Abu Fanous said. It carried truth, and that was the price. Return to Alu Najma. Back in town, word of their return spread. Villagers gathered as Abu Fanous, Layla, and Samir entered the marketplace just as the sun broke above the rooftops. Layla fell to her knees, kissed her brother's forehead. He looked up, tears of relief in his eyes. Thank you, Master Fanous. Abu Fanous nodded humbly. The wadi's trials are not always physical. It sought something deeper, a story of compassion. An old woman in the crowd approached. "Your lantern glows brighter now, Abu," she said kindly. He looked at his brass lantern. Indeed, its light seemed warmer, steadier. It had absorbed a new glow from truth and mercy. That evening, Abu Fanous returned to his courtyard, lantern beside him. A gathering of children and elders sat before him. He cleared his throat. "Tonight," he began, "not only will I tell you a thrilling tale, but you will also learn English with me." He spoke slowly, emphasizing words. "Once upon a time." He paused, looking at each face. "Let's learn together." Language learning notes, woven into story. As he spoke, he explained. Once upon a time, common way to start a fairy tale. Caravan, a group of travelers, usually with animals, going through the desert. Oasis, a fertile spot in the desert with water. Compassion, kindness toward others. Miracle, something amazing, beyond normal explanation. Whisper keeper, whisper means quiet voice. Keeper is someone who watches over something. Mercy, forgiveness, not punishing. Each phrase received a gentle definition, and sometimes he repeated it in context. Compassion is like when Hakim gave water to the sick traveler he cared. Compassion. Repeat. Compassion. Children repeated in chorus. Even adults smiled, learning a new word. Full adventure continues. Abu Fanous had more to tell. There were sand serpents lurking in hidden caves, a midnight storm that spoke in voices, the nomad princess who held the key to a secret library beneath the dunes, but all that came later. In future nights. But tonight, their hearts were full. Mercy had triumphed, love had prevailed, and English had found a way into their souls. The lantern's light glowed on every face. They listened, learned, laughed, and wondered what chapter would come next. Epilogue. And so, dear listener, this is but one chapter in the life of Abu Fanous, the father of the lantern. His magic lies not only in storytelling, but in bringing people together across cultures, languages, and fears. And now, through English, you carry a bit of his world with you. May you remember, mercy conquers fear. Words can heal as much as water. A single story, told with truth, can light even the darkest path. Thank you for joining Abu Fanous tonight. Keep learning, keep imagining, and keep your own lantern burning bright.